Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of the Jet Setter video blog series. In this edition, we're going to discuss the trade rumors and potential happenings around the Darrelle Revis situation. Well, welcome back, Tyson. How's postseason football treating you?
It's good. Some good games, a lot of action, high-scoring games, some drama. I've enjoyed it.
That's funny you bring up drama.
Oh.
It wouldn't be a Jets offseason without drama, would it?
Nope.
All right, let's go to the big one. The big rumors are that Jets are strongly considering trading Darrelle Revis. What are your thoughts?
Not surprised. I mean, you got to see this coming. I mean, he's held out twice in his career already. You know, you had to see this coming. He's in the last year of his contract. I mean, I'm not surprised this story came out already.
Well, we're talking about one of the top 5 football players in the NFL, let alone the Jets' best player. Is it wise to trade your best player?
I mean, is it wise? I mean, you got to look at, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, your initial reaction is like, no way, future Hall of Famer, best, you know, you can't do it. There's no way you can do it. But if you look at the full picture, the grand scheme of things, and where you need to go going forward, it's not a crazy concept.
Well, what's the motivation in your perspective?
Honestly, I think the Jets know they can't re-sign him. I think Woody Johnson has sat in the negotiations the last 2 holdouts. I mean, it's been contentious. They don't get along. He wants top dollar. They lost all their leverage because they can't franchise him. I think in their hearts they know they cannot. They won't be able to put numbers up that he wants. I think they know that, so they don't want to see him walk away without compensation.
Well, if they trade him, are they going to save any money?
Initially this year you don't. I think they'll actually lose $3 million in cap space. But I think next year you gain $9 million in cap space. I think it's like a $6 million savings over 2 years. But in the grand scheme of things, I mean, it's not this year. You're actually you lose cap space.
Well, the big concern is since he's coming off the knee surgery, are you going to get? I mean, it's a no-brainer. You're not going to get 100% of Darrelle Revis' value. But how bad do you think the value is diminished?
Well, that's the
trade-wise.
I think it's a challenge the Jets are going to have because I think teams are going to want to see that he could actually get back to. I mean, can he play opening day? Can he get involved in training camp? He's got to learn a new defense. They're going to want to see something out of him. So if you're going to go on goodwill, you may have a conditional pick. I mean, I think it's going to take away some of your. I mean, let's be honest. Teams know the Jets are stuck. They have no cap space. They have no leverage with Revis because he can walk next year without being franchised. So they're going to lose leverage on a lot of aspects. So in terms of value, they're probably not getting as much as they could. But at the same time, he's still Darrelle Revis.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like
the injury doesn't help.
You always see these interesting trades where you get like a legit starter, but everybody scratches their head why they only got a 4th-round pick. Because I know cap considerations are involved. I know there's a ton involved.
The Jets don't have a lot of leverage. And him being hurt does hurt the value.
What do you think you can get back for him then?
And I mean, like I said, you had no leverage. You're hoping for a 1st-round pick, ideally. Right. That's what you want. I mean, you've seen all these things where like Adam Schefter's like Alex Smith and a 3rd-rounder. I mean, you want draft picks. I mean, there's the argument, well, draft picks don't guarantee you talent. You know what? The Jets are stuck right now. Ideally, it's got to be a 1st-round pick.
I mean,
and
optimal circumstances, Revis is worth a 1st and 2nd, or 2 firsts.
Or a 1st this year, a 2nd next year.
Right.
But to me, it's got to be a 1st this year. You can't. I mean, this guy's one of the best players in football. You can't give him away, no matter how bad the situation is.
All right, let's say hypothetically the trade goes through, everything's agreed upon, shake hands. How bad does his loss hurt the defense?
That's a good question, man. You know, I mean, you got to look at. See, people say, like, look at this year when he was out. Kamari set his game up. I mean, Wilson did okay.
Right. Mr. Celebration.
Yeah, but you know, they didn't. Towards the end of the season, they didn't play very good teams. Their schedule was relatively easy. But at the same time, you know, you lose Revis, but if that money could be applied to other areas
Landry,
like linebackers, I mean, they need so much help in so many areas. I mean, you know, it hurts the defense, but at the same time, they need linebackers, they need safeties,
right.
They need a nose tackle. I mean, they need so many things. If that money can be applied to other places, you know what I mean? It's like
right.
Pick your poison.
Last question on Revis.
For the record, I'll say it's something else.
I'm giving you the GM cap. You've just been hired. You replaced Idzig. You're the GM of the Jets. Would you do it?
Wow, I'm a Revis fan. We all are. I mean, he's a future Hall of Famer. I mean, he's the best player we've had.
You only get so many of those players throughout your life.
It's true. My initial reaction is trade Cromartie first. Try to see what you can get for Cromartie. It's an $8.2 million cap savings. Right. I mean, you get value with that. And with me, Cromartie, his value will never get higher. This is the best Cromartie you're going to get.
I think you'll definitely get a second round for Cromartie.
Exactly. And then you save that cap money and give it to Revis. I mean, that's me, what I would try to do, because Cromartie, this is the best you're going to see out of him. And he's not completely the character guy that you want. I mean,
right.
he did all the right things this year.
Heck of a year, though.
Took on a leadership role, but you know what? That may be his max.
Right.
And then, you know, in 2 years, he's due for a contract. So if it's me, honestly, I try to get rid of Cromartie. If you can't do that, you got to trade Revis, man, because you know what? We don't have the cap space. He's one player. He's a great player, but you can't give him the $17 million a year or $16 million a year.
Quarterback money. And
you cannot, as a GM, let him walk away without any compensation whatsoever. I mean, be honest, if you were to, are you looking as an outsider looking in, what would you do?
Outsider looking in, this is my fear. Everybody knows the cat's out of the bag. I'm a Giant fan. We went through Darrelle Thomas last year, right? Everybody we love Darrelle Thomas. Give the kid a big 4-year contract. 3 weeks into training camp,
gets hurt.
Out for the season, out for his career maybe, because it's the exact same injury and the exact same knee. That's my only concern. Other than that, I take Revis in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but see, the question is though, you can't, if you don't get him signed by, you can't let him play the year out.
Well, I'm talking devil's advocate. If I were the opposing team,
right,
taking on the trade, I'd want that kid signed for 5 to 7 years.
Right.
I'd want that contract in place if I'm making the trade, and if I'm willing to give up that first or second and first,
right,
the combination of picks. I want to know that I have a player for 5 to 7 years, which is cool. It's just my only concern as an outsider is that knee injury. Now I know. Conversely,
if you're the
Adrian
Jets,
Peterson.
If you're the Jets, what do you do though?
Right.
If you're the Jets, what do you do?
If I'm the Jets, I think that Cromartie trade makes way more sense. Because in my opinion, I saw what Curtis Martin meant to you guys this year. I saw what having a Hall of Famer means to like a team.
Yeah,
and just again, this is just me.
I understand.
Listen, I lived through LT, and even though he's not the greatest of person, you only get those players so often.
But if you take that Revis money and you make that into, say, re-signing Landry and getting 2 linebackers, you could get 2 to 3 starters for one Revis,
and you get a decent draft.
And my other argument is this: the Jets, what they lack the most is pass rusher. They need some kind of pass rush.
I mean,
if you could transfer Revis money into a legitimate pass rush, say a very good outside linebacker and whatever, a defensive tackle, maybe you know what? Kyle Wilson doesn't have to wait 5 seconds to hold somebody because you know what? You have a pass rush now. I mean, ideally, you want to keep Revis.
So what you're saying is you'll take Manura in a 2nd round pick.
you want me to? You know what? But you know what I'm saying is the Jets are in a really bad spot. It's a public relations nightmare because I know every Jet fan that I talk to is you trade Revis, I'm no longer a Jet fan.
Right.
Which is nonsense because you're going to be a Jet fan no matter what happens anyway.
You've lived through this year, you're going to be a Jet fan.
But the only problem is if you do trade Revis, the face of the franchise is Rex Ryan. But
that's interesting.
Yeah, which is the problem. But honestly, my sense right now is you can't fault the Jets for trading him if you can't trade Cromartie. It's a tough, man. But you know what the problem is? If you didn't have these bad contracts with Antonio Holmes, David Harris, Mark Sanchez, the Jets' win-now mentality put them in salary cap mess that you don't have wiggle room.
Right.
And that combined with Revis's desire to be the most expensive player in the NFL, it's just you have to find a way to just get the most you can from him. And
well, it's the waiting game. Let's see.
It's never easy. Thank you for watching our latest video. Please check us out, thejetsetter.com. On Twitter, I'm TRoush21. Facebook, Tyson Roush. We appreciate the feedback. It's been a fun year, and the off season looks like it's going to be very, very busy. So thank you again for your support, your feedback. That's Alf. I'm Tyson. See you guys next week.